we are talking about today. So, this golden key which we are talking about is our relationship with Krishna, which is called as Sambandha Jnana. So, this golden key actually helps us to unlock various, things in our life. Just like, we need a key to, if there is a lock, then definitely you need a key to unlock it. Similarly, in our life also, there are many things which locks us, and binds us very deeply in this world, causing us anxiety, emptiness, with no purpose, and, constantly putting us in a kind of confusion, and also in fear. So these are all considered as various locks. So we need a key which can actually open all these locks. Just like in the house also, sometimes we have different keys for different rooms. Sometimes there is a back door key, there is a front door key, and various other important things we have got keys. Similarly, but that could be a master key which can actually, that one key can serve a purpose of opening all the everything in the house. Similarly, we are talking about one key which can actually unlock everything in our life. So, because even in our life, each problem we try to find solution, in a different way. Each problem, each different solution. But here we are trying to find one solution or one key which can actually solve all the problems, which is like going to the roots. It is like finding the root cause, and seeing how this root cause can be treated. Just like, if a doctor, if somebody is going to a doctor, of course the doctor externally sees a person, but also finds what actually the root cause for this particular patient having this particular issue, and then he goes and then treats that underlying cause. Similarly, here we are talking about something, or Krishna himself has, given this in Bhagavad Gita, and also in Srimad Bhagavatam, and in the various literatures we see that how this one thing, is, if we understand, and if we actually be conscious of it, and then how we can actually solve many problems, almost every problem in our life, if this one thing we understand, and then we apply. So what is that? And that key is the golden key, or the master key, or the ultimate, key, which is the our relationship with Krishna, which is called the Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha means relationship, as we know, and Sambandha Jnana means, Jnana is a knowledge. So the knowledge of our relationship with Krishna, that is called as Sambandha Jnana. And in what way we are related with Krishna. So we see that Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says that we all are, his fragmental, eternal fragmental parts. Krishna did not say we are his temporary part and parcel. Krishna says we are our eternal. That means we are permanent. We are eternally connected to Krishna. Doesn't matter which life we take, whether it's a human form of life, animal species, or various other species, but we are eternally connected to him. That is something so wonderful. When we understand that Krishna declares that you belong to me. Krishna says, you belong to me, and I'm always there to fully protect you. There is nothing to worry. In the final end, also, Krishna says, do not masuchaha, do not worry. So these are words of Krishna. So our eternal relationship with Krishna, someone who is eternal, all powerful, all attractive, all beautiful, all knowledgeable, and that personality, we are part and parcel of that personality who has got all the Aishwaryas. Not just the Aishwaryas, full of love. Satchidananda Vigraha is eternal, he's full of knowledge and full of bliss, and we are his fragmental parts. So that is something very wonderful. And when we remember that we are not this body, we are eternal souls, we are the spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, then we actually can uplift ourselves, from various different conditions of our life. We might have heard this many, many times. We are not this body, we are not this mind, we are the spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, and we have an eternal relationship with Krishna. So basically, theoretically, we have heard this many times. But how do we actually connect? But let us understand in what way this understanding helps us in our life. How it helps, first we can try to understand, and then see practically how do we actually become conscious of it. It is not that we don't know. Maybe somebody who is a beginner in Krishna consciousness probably may not know who am I, and what is my relationship with God or Krishna. But if someone is taken up this process, and the very first thing we learn is that we are not this body, we are not this mind, we are spirit soul. And our relationship with Krishna is that we are part and parcel, we are the eternal servants of Krishna. And our purpose of life is to serve him and love him. That is our purpose. So this is the understanding we actually get when we have, learned, when we have heard from the authorities or from the devotees or and from the scriptures. Uh, so then in what way it helps? The very first thing is we see in this life, especially in Kali Yuga, we are constantly put in anxiety, right? Like, they say that um, it's stress and anxieties have become a part of life. They even, as a small child, we go and see a school going boy or a girl, they even feel very stressed out. They know what is the meaning of stress. But we didn't know when we were small. But things are changing now, because when the Kali Yuga progresses more and more, anxiety only increases. And it is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the people of Kali Yuga, the characteristics of people of Kali Yuga are that they are manda sumanda mutayo manda bhagyahi upadritau. Upadritau means always disturbed. Uh, Either we are disturbed by our body, suddenly some health crisis, or suddenly we get a fever, simple things to big things anyone may get. And then otherwise, either by body or mind, the mind constantly puts us in anxiety. We read some message and then we get very worried or concerned, like that. So the mind always, dwells on something, either that has happened some time back, maybe it has happened some 10 years before, 20 years before. The mind brings it in front, and then constantly, choose the same thing, and then puts us in great anxiety. All of a sudden, it brings those, memories, lamenting over the past, or it suddenly takes us to the future. Oh, what is going to happen? Who is going to look after me? After 10 years, what will happen? What will be my position? What will happen to my family? So much of anxiety the mind brings, constantly throws. And it is also a fact that we don't know what is our future, how our future is going to be. So then naturally what happens, the mind puts all these questions. Oh, what's going to happen? They're constantly thinking of past or future. And then it becomes more fearful, because when we know that there is something which we are unaware, and naturally fear comes in. So it becomes fearful. So either the body or mind gives some anxiety, or some other people, maybe our dear ones, loved ones, putting us in some trouble, or the natural calamities, this and that. Suddenly there is a heavy rain, and some places there is scarcity of water. And then we see earthquakes, many so always mode of anxiety is there. Uh, so then what happens is that we are completely lost ourselves, so we are completely absorbed in that anxiety mode. uh, and we are not moving forward, we are stuck and stagnant. But then we see that, in the Krishna's pastimes also, we see The cowherd boys were constantly, Kamsa was constantly putting them in trouble, you know, sending Agasura, Bagasura, different demons, in Vrindavan, all the Dambasis, the residents of Vrindavan, constantly they were actually disturbed by so many demons. But what did they do? They were also put in anxiety, but they were always taking shelter of Krishna. And, just like, this very famous pastime of like how Indra got very upset that the residents of Vrindavana actually gave up Indra Puja, and they were worshipping Govardhana. He got very very upset, and then what did he do? Because of his anger, he actually instructed the Samvartaka cloud, which is actually called during the annihilation time, devastating rain. So the residents of Vrindavana immediately called out to Krishna, "Oh, my dear Krishna, we are in great anxiety. Please, you only can save us, protect us." And then immediately Krishna, came, and then he took the Govardhan hill in his little finger of the left hand, and then he took it as, kept it like an umbrella, so all the residents can come under the shelter of Govardhan Hill. And Krishna said that, "Do not worry." And then he said, "You all of you can take a complete shelter here." And during the 7 days, Krishna was holding this Govardhan Hill, and nobody was feeling thirsty or hunger or anything, because Krishna just protected them completely. And in fact, they were very blissful when they were under the shelter of Govardhan, because they could constantly drink the beauty of Krishna's lotus face. And everyone were together at one place: the gopis, the gopas, the cows, the calves, the elderly residents. Everyone were in under one shelter, and they relished being in the association of Krishna. So they were also constantly put in various anxieties. But how did they overcome those anxieties? They took shelter of Krishna. They remember Krishna is there. Why we should worry? And even we see that, when Draupadi was put in great danger, she was in the assembly of the great gurus. Bhishma Pitama was there, and Draupadi's all the husbands were there. All the important people were sitting there. But when Dushasana was trying to disrobe Draupadi, and she called for help, and no one could come and protect Draupadi, including her own husbands. And what did Draupadi do? Immediately, Draupadi could understand the situation. It is not just a small anxiety. It is not like some little problems that one face in life. This is about one's own, chastity. You know, it is something very important for a woman. She was put in such a very critical situation. And what did Draupadi do? Immediately she called out for Krishna. And then Krishna came and protected Draupadi. We see that, how this, great devotees, it is not that their life were bed of roses. They also faced challenges. But how did they actually overcome? By taking shelter, by remembering, oh, Krishna is there. They always, because why they could take shelter of Krishna? Because they know their relationship with Krishna. Krishna is our eternal well-wisher. Krishna is our protector. Krishna is our eternal friend. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Sugridam sarva bhutanam nyatva mam shanti mrichati. Krishna says, in that Bhagavad Gita, that verse, Krishna says, if someone knows, understands that I am the supreme controller, the proprietor, and the well-wisher, then one can become peaceful. From anxiety to peace. Yeah? If you want to, if you are put in some anxiety, and if you want to come out of that anxiety and become peaceful, what is the formula? The formula is to immediately remember that, oh, Krishna is our eternal well-wisher. He's our eternal master. He's a loving father. Why I should be worried? And then if we switch over, turn our mind towards Krishna, rather than contemplating on the problems and issues, rather we contemplate or meditate and pray, remembering Krishna's lotus feet. Then we see uh, we get that peace. So that is what, practically all the cowherd boys should. Of course, they are pure devotees. They are always in that relationship. They always remember their eternal relationship with Krishna. In our case, the problem is that we forget our eternal relationship. We go into that bodily mode, and then, oh, what happened? Oh, what will happen now? We completely go into anxiety. Why? Because we have forgotten that moment, our relationship with Krishna. That is a root cause problem for the anxiety. So when I immediately understand that, oh, I have forgotten him. Now let me remember him, and then we take shelter. Then we see, you know, it's like, Krishna opens up. There is some solution coming up. Some helping hand comes up. That's what happens when we immediately remember that. So also we see that so this is a practical way that in our life also we turn towards. It is actually just a fine tuning that consciousness. Immediately we see solution coming up. Some help comes up, or because when our mind is, because when we are in a bodily platform, anxiety mode, the mind is fully clouded. Nothing works, and we whatever comes out is full of emotions, material emotions. In fact, it aggravates a problem, or it actually creates more problem, more anxiety. But immediately, if someone can fine tune it, but we will also see later at the end how we can do it, because it's easy to say, but is it possible? Can we do it in our real life? Yeah, that's what we are going to see at the end. But we are trying to share now how these difficulties, or the challenges which we face in our life, just by understanding our relationship with Krishna, we can actually overcome those challenges. So anxiety is one thing. So from anxiety to peace, we can immediately transfer ourselves by remembering our relationship with Krishna. That's what all the cowherd boys, all the devotees of Krishna, that's what they did. And then we see the thing is that emptiness or loneliness. We see that loneliness is a great problem, especially in this country, in the Western countries, where they do not live like families. But even in families also, sometimes we see that our heart, we feel that no one actually understands me. There may be people full of, surrounded by so many people, but yet we feel that sort of loneliness. That means, oh, even in a family everyone is around, but not everyone is understanding me. We may be in a community and we may feel that no one is understanding me, you know uh, you know um, I feel. Or sometimes, someone may have everything, money, position, career, fame, but yet something is missing, some emptiness. Some emptiness is there. Why? Because there is no connection there. Mm. There is no connection. That is why this loneliness feeling or emptiness feeling comes, because there is no connection with Krishna. When we see this cowherd boys, when they go to the forest, for grazing cows and this thing, sometimes, they may go very deep into the forest and get, and they are alone, but they never felt that loneliness, because they immediately remember, oh, Krishna, where are you? They immediately able to connect with Krishna. So even in a dangerous position, or even in a, physically in a lonely position, wherever it is, we are mentally lonely or physically lonely. But when we can connect ourselves to Krishna, immediately we feel that, you know that emptiness is filled. mm, that loneliness is disappears. That is the power of connecting ourselves to Krishna. Then immediately that we see that even in Prahlad Maharaj's life. I think, hope many of you would have gone and seen the Mahavatar Narsimha movie. Very amazing movie, with such a perfect lesson, a perfect lesson in a very powerful way of demonstrating the perfect love of, pure love of Prahlad Maharaj. Generally in the films, they try to kind of add on many things just to make it more attractive for the audience. So sometimes the essence gets diluted. But we see in this movie, the essence stays, completely alive. And also amazing, uh, you know, amazing, in every aspects, as a film. So it is truly wonderful. I hope you all would have seen. And the standing out thing for me personally when I saw the film was the unalloyed, unconditional love of Prahlad Maharaj. Very heart touching, very heart melting for me. That was someone I felt, even though we have read in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have heard, but when we see as a film and we see how Prahlad Maharaj is so undisturbed, various things coming in life, but just is so focused and so, you know, unconditionally loving, Nrsimhadev, I mean, Krishna. That is amazing. And he says at one place that just as the iron fillings are naturally attracted, a magnet, get attracted to the magnet. Similarly, I am attracted to, Krishna. What can I do? It is not in my control. That is the position of those pure devotees. So amazing. So we see here Prahlad Maharaj was also in a sense lonely because he appeared in a demonic family, right? So surrounded by demons, and Hiranyakashipu, no need to say, he was like one of the very, he was completely against Lord Vishnu and the whole kingdom. And he even made the demigods, the devatas, to actually say that Hiranyakashipu ki jai. So that was the scenario, situation. Just if you see that, if you have seen the movie, if you recollect, so everyone around Prahalad was negative, or they are anti Krishna, conscious, against Krishna, against Vishnu, and he's the only one. Uh, just imagine if we have been put in a situation like that, what we would have done. At least, I was just reflecting about myself. I would have actually become a demon, and I don't think so. I would have actually continued my devotional service. But I was just thinking of Prahlad, and it was like mind blowing, heart touching. His determination, his focus, and his, undivided love, unparalleled love, amazing, matchless. So here we see that Prahlad was also lonely. Nobody was around. And we saw in the movie how even his classmates, they were making fun of him in the beginning. And own teachers, Sanda Amarka, they were teaching something completely different. But he never felt lonely. He always could feel the presence of, the Lord. Because he is completely aware of his relationship with his Lord. The Lord is my eternal master. He is always there to protect me. He is always there as my well-wisher. Such a strong conviction and faith. When we have that, where is the point of loneliness? Where is the question of loneliness? Because the Lord is always there, in our heart. He's always sitting there watching us, watching every single thing what we are doing in our life. And he's accompanying this conditioned soul, not only the human body. How merciful the Lord is, that even in an animal body, a bird body, even a very insignificant species of life we take, how loving Krishna is, that he even accompanies us in those abominable forms as well, till we reach back home, back to Godhead, as a loving father. Even though we don't want to turn, towards him, he says, no, 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 it doesn't matter you turn to me or not. Hmm? But I love you so much. That is Krishna. And Krishna is throughout in our journey, in all the lives we take, he's actually, accompanying us. How wonderful it is, but, you know, a conditioned soul is not aware of it. Aware of it means sometimes the conditioned soul is aware, but because of the strong conditioning, we forget that Krishna is our eternal master. He is always there with us. And he's always there to guide and protect us. So that is where this feeling of this loneliness comes. But Prahlad Maharaj was, even in any situation, he was always remembering the Lord, and he was always able to connect to the Lord. So when we connect with the Lord, then what happens? This loneliness, emptiness, all this will disappear. And then sometimes we see in our life also purpose. What is the purpose of my life? Oh, I'm getting up in the morning, going to work, looking after the family, earning bread, then again going doing housework chores. Sometimes we see that we may kind of complain also, oh, life is becoming more mechanical. What is the purpose? Where am I heading towards? Those who are not aware of Krishna consciousness totally, I don't know whether they very much struggle with their purpose. What is life all about? But those who know Krishna consciousness and who are practicing, but still not able to kind of become steady, sometimes these questions may arise. So then what is our purpose? So then that's where we see that because why this question comes, because Krishna is not there in the center of life. Mm. It is me who is in the center of life, or I'm trying to keep someone in the center of my life. Then what happens? I'm not able to figure out what is life all about and where am I heading towards, what is the goal, what is the purpose. But when I keep Krishna in the center of my life, everything falls in place. It doesn't matter what activity I do, even looking after a child, looking after, doing household chores, everything becomes divine and a connection or a service to Krishna. It becomes service to Krishna because who is in the center? Krishna is in the center. Like a big house and Krishna is there in the center. Yes, connecting with the, keeping Krishna in the center. This house actually belongs to Krishna, and I'm actually, Krishna has allowed me to be in this house. So with that mood, what happens? The entire house is an offering to Krishna. And then even as sweeping a floor, doing every single thing in that house, it actually becomes a service to Krishna. Similarly, when we are able to understand that Krishna is a center, and Krishna has sent these people in my life, the different relationships, a child, a father, a mother, a brother, a sibling, whoever it is, then we see that I try my best to see a way where I can connect them to Krishna or do something for them in relationship with Krishna. Then what happens? That becomes a service. So even our so-called day-to-day simple activities, those activities becomes a service, as an offering to Krishna. As Krishna says, Yat karoshi yadasnashi yajuhoshi tatasya settapasya kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you eat, whatever you know, offer, whatever you give away, do everything as an offering to me. Uh, so that's what happens. So even small things, simple things, becomes an offering of love, offering of service. It is no more just a chore. It is no more just a material thing. It is not just a material activity or just a material relationships, but everything becomes a divine service, to Krishna. When Krishna is in the center, then there is a purpose. We understand the purpose. The purpose is to serve Krishna because I'm again, the relationship, sambandha. I am Krishna's eternal part and parcel. I am eternal servant of Krishna, and my duty is to serve and love Krishna. And I'm doing through various means. Whatever Krishna has given me in this life, whatever objects Krishna has given me, possessions Krishna has given me, people Krishna has given me, they are using in the service of Krishna. So in that way, that becomes a service. It's not that I only go and sit in the temple and then that becomes a service, or offer a service in the temple, that becomes a service. Or is it that, only when I do japa or chanting the holy name of Krishna, that is the time I'm actually Krishna conscious. No, every single thing, whatever activity we do, if provided we understand our relationship with Krishna and keep Krishna as the center of our life, then what happens? Every activity we do become Krishna conscious as a wonderful offering to Krishna. So then we see also relationships play a very, very important, vital role in our lives. This world is all about that. In our life, we see that we are constantly reminded. Doesn't matter. Sometimes, we may be physically with them sitting there. Sometimes we may not there also. Just like a mother constantly reminds the child. Similarly, husband will be remembering the wife remembering the husband. It's all about relationships. But in our life, we also see that the more the closer relationships, and when they do something different that actually hurts us a lot, a third person doing something may not hurt, but someone who is very close doing something to us that actually hurts very deeply. So in all our lives, all of us in this forum, we would have gone through those kind of situations in our life, which is quite common. Sometimes it could be in a minor, in a degree of hurt, but sometimes it could be in a very major level of traumas. So whatever it is, why? And then we get broken hearted, and then it puts us in a very, very kind of a depressive mood, or we go into those kind of a negative emotions. Sometimes we see even people becoming suicidal and all these things. Why? Because we have forgotten our eternal relationship with Krishna, with Sambandha. Because sometimes in the relationships also, it is like that all the relationships are like in a like different zeros, and then when one is there, then all the zeros have value. But if the one is not there and only the zeros are there, the zeros have no value. Similarly, sometimes when we don't understand our eternal relationship with Krishna and seeing in relation everyone, then sometimes what happens, we are seeing all the relationship in a material concept. Then our ego comes, many other thing comes, relationships gets broken, and all these different kind of stuff happens. But to bring back or the from resilience from this kind of situation is possible only when we understand we have our eternal relationship with Krishna, and no one in this material world can actually fulfill our heart. Not possible, because everyone is limited. Even there could be somebody who may be loving us so much, like our parents. Not everyone parents are here in this country. They are back home. They love us so much, but there are situations in our life here. They can't run and come here and give us that support, because they have their shortcomings. So in this world, we see that any of the material relationships cannot actually fulfill. It's not possible. But we see that Krishna can actually, fulfill our heart in all times. In all times, Krishna can fulfill our hearts. And Krishna is such a wonderful personality. He can actually love us in various relationships. And we see that in all relationships, Krishna has loved so many personalities, as a friend, as a son, as a lover, in all kinds of relationship. One can actually relate with Krishna, and Krishna actually fulfills fulfills our heart, fulfills all our desires, the spiritual desires. And we see that even person who is very inimical, Krishna is seeing that Krishna is still loving that person. And we know this example of Putana, and Putana was completely having a completely negative intention of not just hurting Krishna but killing Krishna. So she came with that in a kind of a mood to kill Krishna. But the only thing which she did was that she offered milk. So Krishna considered that she came in the form of a mother. So, Krishna actually gave her a position of a mother in the spiritual world. That is Krishna. So even someone is coming with a very negative intention, but Krishna could even give still love. you know so that is only possible by Krishna, because in this world we are very judgmental. We actually, in every relationship, we have expectation. A husband expects a wife to be, behave in certain way or speak in certain way. Similarly, a wife has some expectation towards husband, and the parents have some expectations towards children. I want my child to act in this particular way, or behave in this way, or do certain things in this way, or love in such in certain ways. And similarly, the children have their own expectations, but many of the times we don't meet those expectations. Then what happens that we hurt, in the relationship we get hurted, and sometimes we just we are just living together just because, as a matter of sake of living. In many relationships we see that's what happened, and in some relationships they cannot live anymore like that. Better I stay away, because it has disturbed my peace a lot. Or only by staying together, the problem is going to be more. So let us live separately. So we see all different combinations. Uh, The root cause, if you understand here, is that is all because of all these different things comes because of we forgetting our eternal relationship with Krishna. He's no more in the picture actually. We see in many of the relationships, it is me and the other person. Where is Krishna? Krishna is faded off. Probably Krishna was there in the beginning. Then what happens? It all about what happiness I can get from you and what happiness you get from me. This kind of relationships. Even in any relationship, somewhere that is there definitely. You know that expectation is there in every relationship. It is not purely how can I serve you. That is not there in all the relationships. Even in a motherly relationship, a mother expects to some degree, oh, I like my child to come like this. It is pure, certainly it is pure compared to all other relationships because it's more selfless. But yet a mother also has a little, my child should behave certain way, or I want to see my son coming up like this in the future. There is an expectation. But Krishna is unconditional. Even a Putana with a negative thing coming, Krishna actually showered his love. So it is very important that in our relationships, first we understand our deeper relationship with Krishna. Then we won't be frustrated and depressed or disappointed when we develop deeper relationship with Krishna and understand all other relationship in our life in connection with Krishna, then then what happens? We can actually sustain for long. Mhm. And then we can do our best. Then our spirit is completely different. We won't be expecting anything. Rather, our mood would be when we truly understand our relationship with Krishna. Then what happens? We are completely satisfied because Krishna is fulfilling our heart completely. Then why should I look for love here and there? Oh, this person didn't love me. Oh, my father didn't care for me. My mother didn't do this for me. My son did not do this for me. No more hankering because I know I am getting everything from Krishna. So what happens? I am completely full. And now what I am trying to do? How can I actually help them? Okay. What love I can give to my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my son, my daughter without expecting anything in return because I'm full already. If I am not full, then I'm begging for love. Oh, can you give me some love in a different ways? And I'm actually expecting, and when it is not actually happening, then I'm getting frustrated. So the point is that we are not completely full in heart because the reason is we don't remember our relationship with Krishna and we are not actually, working on our relationship with Krishna. We are putting so much energy and time and investment on all our temporary relationships, uh, you know, and I'm saying it is not bad. I'm not saying we should not. The point is that we are investing to see that what I can get out of it. Will it make me? I will put more time so that I can get more happiness. But what we are getting in return is we are putting more, but in return we are getting disappointment. But if we understand, the only person who can actually fulfill is that Krishna. But when we develop the same investment of time, little bit if we give for Krishna, we see he fills our heart. And then no more we have to look for anything. Rather, we will actually be in a mood of service in all our relationship, not in the mood of enjoyment. In the mood of enjoyment in relationship, what happens is that it puts us in a very, very precarious condition because we constantly get frustrated. But when we are in a giving spirit, doesn't matter what you do, I don't care. Okay, I am actually going to do this for you. I'm going to, okay, if I'm not able to do physically also, I'm going to pray for you. You, wherever you are, be happy. Be happy, grow forward. I will always pray for your well-being. That's all. Simple. So we are not disappointed at all. But if we are not able to invest our in our relationship with Krishna and putting everything the other side, then it's going to be the opposite and we will be very, very thoroughly disappointed. So that's what we see here. And the pure devotees of the Krishna and then the devotees of Krishna, we see that they have such a loving relationship with Krishna because they know nobody else can actually please them. And Krishna also, reciprocated to everyone. We see all the residents of Vrindavana. They were completely, Krishna satisfied them in various ways, in various relationships. You know, even the so-called separation also, in that Krishna actually filled their heart with bliss. That is a different science altogether. Even people with a negative mentality, they go, still Krishna gives only love. So that's why it's very, very important. Understanding our relationship with Krishna actually helps us, from a mode of anxiety to peace, emptiness to connection, and then we see with a aimlessness to a purpose, and then we see broken relationships to complete love. Mm. Satisfying completely, the soul becomes completely blissful, connecting with Krishna, in that love of Krishna. And then we see, because, Srila Prabhupada, how he was always in the Sambandha Jnana. We all know that when Srila Prabhupada went to the Western world, he was in his 70s, which is an age quite challenging for anyone to take up that greater task. But he took that in the order of his spiritual master as his life and soul. In that very ripened age, Srila Prabhupada went. And he had so many challenges. Language was one of the biggest challenge. We see that even when Prabhupada was giving classes, many of them did not understand what Srila Prabhupada was saying, cultural differences. And then, even physically, he was all of them. In the beginning, we see that the people who came to Srila Prabhupada, they were all younger people, you know, but nothing actually disturbed Srila Prabhupada because, and Prabhupada also very lonely because nobody was there. He alone traveled in the Jaladuta. And we know this beautiful poem Srila Prabhupada, written. Alone he was traveling. Nobody was there to receive the other end, nobody to send off here. Many people not there even while traveling, and he didn't even know where turning right or left. And even in the very first year, we see he was alone walking in the streets of America. But Prabhupada said, I never felt alone. I never felt alone. He always felt the presence of his spiritual master and Krishna. And even in Jaladuta, when he was having 2 heart attacks, Prabhupada, Krishna protected him. So Prabhupada was never disturbed. Even when he started the movement, we know, even beginning, one very, the hippie person, he was completely intoxicated. He stole his typewriter, stole little possession. Prabhupada did not have much. He only had this typewriter, as an umbrella, and, few small possessions, and he stole. That is the only thing which he was having to do service. And we know how so many hardships Srila Prabhupada went through. But he never felt, discouraged because he always, was in that connection with Krishna. Krishna is my eternal master. He never thought, okay, now nothing is working. Okay, what to do? He was never depressed, and this thing, he was always positive. Even after also opening many centers, each temple, to maintain how much money one has to have to maintain one temple. Just imagine, even to maintain one family. Sometimes we see in this country, not husband works, wife works, both of them work, then only can run a family, and they have more children. What to speak of maintaining a temple with the deities and people who are volunteers, or the brahmacharis or whoever. Not easy. But Prabhupada said Krishna is a maintainer. He had such a faith because he knew, Krishna is there as my eternal well-wisher, my eternal master. So Prabhupada was never in anxiety. uh, and he was, all those challenges he took, and he was never felt lonely either. And he was very resolute in his purpose. He came for a purpose. He did not go to the Western country for earning money. He did not go to Western country for a career or to, establish himself a position, a fame, nothing. Srila Prabhupada went for a purpose, and that purpose is quite clear, that he wanted to give these people the message of Lord Chaitanya. The Bhagavad Gita, his guru said that you have to take this message and spread all over because people are suffering in this world. So Prabhupada went to give the message of Krishna, and Prabhupada's love, unconditional, even though people, all different kinds of people came. Prabhupada could give that love of Krishna, being the representative of Krishna. Even people who were inimical, coming for various purposes, Prabhupada gave them that unconditional love. Just like Krishna gave the unconditional love as a representative, he gave, and that touched many people's heart, and then they became the devotees of Krishna. We all know that. So with the nothing, in hand, a 70-year-old person in 10 years of time span, opening 108 temples, writing 80 volumes of books, circling the globe 12 times, making thousands and thousands of devotees. Incredible, you know. How? Because he's firmly established in his relationship with Krishna. So that's what happens. So how do we do it? We may think, yes, Srila Prabhupada is celebrated soul. He is a Mahabhagavat devotee. How is that possible for us? Yes, as a sadhaka, we can make an effort. And one of the powerful ways, Bhagavad Gita and in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that one of the powerful ways we can actually or remind ourselves to be in the consciousness of our eternal relationship with Krishna is hearing. Hearing and reading is a powerful way we can constantly keep ourselves in that mode. One of the wonderful examples is Shri Rukmini Devi. So Rukmini Devi, we know that 5,000 years back, the pastime of Krishna, when Rukmini Devi, she's the eternal consort of Krishna. But when she appeared, in the Bhuloka, and then when Krishna's pastimes were happening, she was the daughter of King Bhishmaka. And then when she was a small girl, that time itself, she was constantly hearing about Krishna from Narada Muni. Narada Muni would come and glorify Krishna, and in that and those setup, she would always try to be present there to hear more about Krishna's wonderful qualities, Krishna's beautiful pastimes, Krishna's beauty, his kindness, his love, all these different things she was constantly hearing from Narada Muni. Just by hearing, she decided that if at all I'm marrying only Krishna. So when she was nearly around 15 years old, less than 15 years old, King Bhishmaka decided that, now it's a time for me to, get Rukmini married. So then he decided Shishupala, that he was one of the neighboring king, and he thought that Shishupala should marry, Rukmini Devi. But immediately, Rukmini Devi wrote a letter, to Krishna, that Krishna, I heard about you, and then I have now completely given my heart to you. I cannot marry anyone else. If I, if at all I'm marrying, I will only marry you, and if it takes how many lifetimes, I will wait for that. So that was the letter she sent through a Brahmana. And when Krishna got this letter, when Krishna read that, he saw, oh, here is a surrendered devotee. She's completely, sold out, for me. She wants me only. So immediately Krishna thought, I have to take an urgent action. So then Krishna, even when he was actually, that time Krishna was in a battlefield, in a different battle. And then he even left the battle, to came and rescue Rukmini Devi from Shishupala. So how? It's by hearing. So hearing is one of the powerful means. We can actually constantly remind ourselves to be in the mode of, understanding that, I'm Krishna is my, eternal master. Krishna is my loving, well-wisher. He is my loving father. He's always there to protect me and, love me. So why I should worry? So this consciousness, to constantly be in that state, we have to constantly hear, especially from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the two recommended books. Bhagavad Gita, by constantly hearing and reading Bhagavad Gita, we are actually hearing the words of Krishna spoken by Krishna, and we know what actually Krishna wants, what instruction he has given, how he wants his likes, his dislikes, his personality. We understand. Yeah, by hearing from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, it's all about Krishna. There also how Krishna, what did he do, his kindness, his extraordinary, characteristics, all these things. When we constantly hear, that's where our relationship can become stronger. We can re-establish a stronger relationship with Krishna. Because the people whom we hear constantly, or we read it constantly, actually we develop a stronger connection with them. That's why we see now children, when they constantly hear a footballer, a cricketer, or an actor or actresses, when you constantly hear or see somebody, what happens? You become a fan of that person. Similarly, when if you want to become a fan of Krishna or understand our eternal relationship with Krishna, then we have to constantly hear. The more we hear, the more our ignorance gets removed, and more we get an affinity, the inclination of attraction towards Krishna. And when we constantly hear, that attraction becomes, affection, and then affection becomes attachment. And we become strongly attached. Our relationship with Krishna becomes very deep. And in that state, then what happens is that all these external things, whatever comes, we know that we won't get bewildered. Rather, one can actually take shelter of Krishna. That's what all the great personalities and all the great devotees did. We cannot just do it in a, like copying them, imitating them, but we are trying to follow their footsteps. This is a step. We know the sambandha, so the abhideya, that is a process. So when I know my relationship with someone, then I should act on that relationship. So now I know theoretically the relation, but I'm not able to live in that relationship always. So how should I do that? By following the abhideya, the process of abhideya, which is, of course, chanting, hearing, doing devotional service. So like starting from hearing. uh, so hearing plays a very, very vital role, and of course all the other things follows, but hearing is most important every single day. So this Janmashtami, we can actually kind of deeply pray that Krishna, and try to understand our relationship with Krishna. It is not, then what happens, even our devotional service will become more enlivened. Otherwise, sometimes what happens when we do our devotional service also, forgetting Krishna and our relationship with Krishna, it becomes like a mechanical mode. And when we do in a mechanical mode for over a period of time, actually what happens, it becomes like a burden. Oh my God, I have to do, today I have to do Arati. Oh, okay. Oh, I have to cook for Krishna. Oh, I have to do this thing. Oh, I have to go for associate. Everything becomes like a burden, you know. But so if you are facing those challenges, then what we have to do is that we have to hear more. The more we hear, the more we read. Mm. Reading, hearing more, it's good. Chanting also is hearing only. Krishna Nama, hearing Krishna's name, hearing Krishna's katha. There are two kinds of hearing. Hearing Krishna's Nam, that is what chanting all about. Chanting means hearing, basically. We chanting means we think we are chanting, but sometimes we don't hear. But actually, chanting becomes complete only when we hear. So hearing Krishna's Nama, Krishna's holy name, purifies us and reconnects us with Krishna. Reminds us, oh, I'm Krishna's eternal, pardon, by eternal servant of Krishna. So the chanting is like that, that it is a transcendental sound vibration reconnecting us to Krishna. Uh, just like the sleeping soul wakes up, similarly when we are sleeping, by an alarm clock wakes up, the sound, material sound wakes us up from our sleep. Similarly, we need the spiritual sound to wake us up from this ignorance. So that is what is the holy name Hare Krishna mantra all about. So hearing Krishna's nama attentively and hearing Krishna Katha attentively, Krishna's narrations, Krishna's pastimes, then what happens? We see we are actually transferred. We are able to keep, remind ourselves, or we can keep ourselves in the mode of a constant remembrance of Krishna, our relationship with Krishna. Then we are not feeling too much anxiety. We are not feeling too much disturbed. We are not feeling lonely. We are not feeling disturbed. We are not feeling broken. because Krishna is there to protect us, care for us, shower that love, mercy. Krishna will help us. Krishna is there, So, so in that way, our day-to-day life will also will become better. Mm. Our day-to-day life will become better, happy, and then purposeful. Then we also see that we are actually becoming deeply connecting to Krishna, and in that way, only possible for us to reach the ultimate goal which we are talking about, which is Abhideya Prayojana. Prayojana is Krishna Prem. It all starts with Sambandha. So it is not just learning Sambandha Jnana, but how we can live our day-to-day life in the Sambandha Jnana. That is very important. So that for that, we need the process of Abhideya, starting from hearing. So when that goes hand in hand, when we are doing the hearing and the sing with the mood of constantly being in that relationship with Krishna, then that over a period of time matures and fructifies as Krishna Prema, which is love for Krishna. So it doesn't happen magically. So without Sambandha, without Abhideya, and one day Prayojana, how it can happen? It's not possible. So it is a gradual process and step-by-step process. But the Sambandha Jnana, we need to make it not just a passive Sambandha Jnana. Oh yeah, I am eternal Krishna's, eternal servant. Yeah, I know that. But we want to put, in our live by that Sambandha Jnana. So that's something we should consciously do it. That is something we need to consciously do it. So this Janmashtami, we can take this as one of the meditations, and pray and beg to Krishna for that mood. Even our chanting becomes so wonderful when we do in the Sambandha Jnana. Krishna, you are my eternal master. You are my, you have always loved me. Many, many lifetimes have taken, but I've forgotten you, Krishna. But thank you so much. Still, you have not given up on me. You have again given me a chance, to connect with you and to love you and serve you. I'm very grateful. So in that mood, when we start to chant the holy name, naturally we'll become more attentive. Naturally, we will become prayerful. Naturally we will feel so much bliss coming out of that, chanting. While chanting, it is not just after chanting. While chanting, one can feel the bliss when it is done in the Sambandha Jnana. Our chanting will become more relishing. Our reading will become more relishing and connecting. Our devotional service will become more focused, more attentive. We are more present, and our relationship with the devotees also will become better, because when we deal with the Sambandha Jnana, even though there are times, we are not able to really agree with certain things with other devotees, or sometimes we get hurt by the behaviors and this thing of devotees, when we immediately remember the Sambandha Jnana and Krishna's eternal servant. Everyone is Krishna's eternal, servants. How can I actually get angry and upset, even though I feel angry? But how can I get angry? Because they are connected with Krishna. So I need to understand. So I cannot get, upset with, upset with those devotees, probably because of various modes or various reasons they are acting. Okay, let me take shelter of Krishna. And rather we actually become okay, rather than why they behave like that, rather we think, okay, maybe I also become part of it in some way, because there is always some percentage of mistake from our side is also there. Could be theirs is more, whatever it is. But then we see that why that little percentage came from myself. Okay, let me work on it. And then I pray to, we become more kind of forgiving, the forgiving attitude, to become more, this thing, all these qualities can, manifest when that Sambandha Jnana is not there, is there. But when it is not there, that's where, that moment when we forget, then what happens? We get very upset, angry, and this thing, and all that comes. But then when we sit down and think and pause, and then we see that it's okay, it's all right. I probably in my last life I would have done something to this devotee. I would have actually caused some harm, or I would have disturbed the devotee in some way. In this life, probably this devotee is causing me this problem. That's okay. Okay, so nothing comes from it is the devotee's mood is nothing comes like that, like accidentally. There is some cause there, and definitely I should be a cause somewhere. You know, it is why somebody else is not getting affected and I am getting affected. That means I have done something. Maybe if not in this life, some life I have done something. That is why that is coming to me. So then, in that way, we are actually not becoming judgmental of others. Let them do whatever they like. They love, they hate. Do whatever you want. No problem. I'm not bothered about it. Rather, you are focusing on your life, doing things at the same time. You are becoming a well wisher of everyone. We are becoming well wisher of everyone. Doesn't matter they like you, hate you, or think whatever about you. So it is a wonderful state of consciousness, right? So it all begins with this Sambandha Jnana, living in that relationship with Krishna is so powerful, wonderful. So just by reading it, talking about it, hearing it feels so empowering, so what I should say, so connecting to Krishna. Just imagine if we can live in that consciousness. It's absolutely, blissful. So yeah, this is something for me to work on. So that's why I thought, I felt it is very soothing, very comforting, very uplifting, very blissful, just on contemplating on it. So I was thinking that surely it would help me, and I think it would help other devotees also. So I thought I will share this with everyone today. So I'll stop here, and in fact, we can even do it as a personally for us, like, people do like monk challenge, reading challenge, various kinds of challenge. We can even do as challenge. How much are we able to live in this consciousness? We can even try for a day and see. And it all comes from, so this is one thing for a challenge, but one of the things which is which we can actually try to work on is our hearing and reading. So if we can every single day one lecture of Srila Prabhupada, we can hear, read Srila Prabhupada's books because Prabhupada's appearance day is also coming. A greater way to connect to Srila Prabhupada also and connect to Krishna also. So in that way, reading Srila Prabhupada book every single day, sometimes could be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever works out. And hearing Srila Prabhupada's lecture is so powerful. The people when the Prabhupada started the movement, they were hippie. They couldn't even understand Srila Prabhupada's, but they became such exalted personalities, and they now know the whole Bhagavatam, the whole science of Krishna consciousness. So by hearing constantly Srila Prabhupada, it's so uplifting. The pure devotees sound vibration itself is, you understand, not understand, it's very purifying. And every day when we consistent hearing consistently and attentively makes a very big difference. Especially prabhupadvani.org, there is a website. In that website, there is all the lectures of Srila Prabhupada is given, like Bhagavad Gita, lectures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, room conversations, japa walk, everything. So amazing, actually. I'm trying to hear this Bhagavatam every single day, Prabhupada's one. Very, very uplifting. So it would be very nice. We can try to hear that and read Srila Prabhupada's books. And then we can easily, it would help us to keep us more in our, align ourselves in our relationship with Krishna. Um, so that will definitely help our material quality of our material things, what we do in our life, and certainly all the spiritual things of a devotional service will surely be of a higher nature and quality. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna Janmashtami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Vilas
Yeah.
ki jai. Any
Yeah.
comments or questions?
Mataji, I have a question. Do you conduct this session every Monday or how is it like
Yes,
of the life
Prabhu.
lesson?
Yeah, this session happens every Monday, Prabhu.
Oh, okay.
May I know your good name?
My name is Jai Bharat.
Jai Bharat. Oh, thank you, Prabhu. So, are you in this announcement group?
Yeah, I do, but then I was missing, and then I was
Okay.
not sure that it
Yeah.
is on every Monday.
Yes,
So
yes, Prabhu. Thank you so
yeah,
much. Yeah.
thank you very much for your time, and then thank you for teaching all of
Thank,
this.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely, I would like to resonate one thing. When you're anxious, you think about Krishna. It
Mm,
takes away, it gives you path,
mm,
and your saying of he's a loving father
mm.
cannot be forgotten.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you for bringing that. Just like the children, when they are put in a danger or when they are in anxious, immediately the presence of father and mother makes them feel relaxed, isn't it? Like a small baby.
True.
Similarly, yeah, same as as we, when we turn towards Krishna and we see Krishna as a loving father, or a loving master, then what happens? Naturally, it gives a lot of comfort. We feel very protected and safe. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments? Today, actually, many devotees have, there are some, many of them have gone for the vacation, and also one of the devotees have their, deity anniversary celebration. So some of the devotees have gone there as well. So anything else? Or you have anything to share? Okay. Fine, thank you. Thank you all for joining. So I'll just quickly show the darshan of Lord Jagannath, and then we can end here. And probably, yeah, and wish you all a very happy Janmashtami, Saturday, Sunday, fully occupied. And yeah, there is a, um, yeah, we have yeah, I think that will be shared later. Yeah, so. We have in ISKCON London, there are programs happening. So we all can try to go there, and also we can go to Bhaktivedanta Manor also. There are some festivities happening there. So we are blessed to have these two temples. And there are a lot of service opportunities at Central London, Soho Temple. So we can try to grab those opportunities. Okay, I'll quickly go and share. Can you see the darshan?
Yes, Mataji, we can see I'll spotlight, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes, we can get see Mataji
And
now.
Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra ki jai. Shri
Yeah.
Shri Gornitai ki jai.
Jai.
Panchatattva ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tagore Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So it was very wonderful Balaram Jayanti last Saturday. And we had devotees here. So many deities were here. Wonderful Abhishek, and then we can see the lordships are smiling, and amazing offerings. So we thank all the devotees who were part of those festivity. And of course, looking forward for Janmashtami and Srila Prabhupada appearance day. Janmashtami, of course, whoever can fast can fast. That is like until midnight, because Krishna appears in the midnight. And there is a special darshan we can take in a midnight darshan in the Soho temple. And next day, Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. People who are fasting, they can fast for half a day. And there is afternoon, then there is a feast. So, yeah. So very nice. So many festivals, so many opportunities to serve Krishna. So let us all pray that we can, by the mercy and blessings of Krishna, we can develop that deep, loving relationship with Krishna. Krishna is always loving us, but we are not able to extend our hands. So we pray to Krishna that we can reciprocate to Krishna's love. And by hearing and reading every single day, because by doing so, we can very easily able to develop, able to connect deeply with Krishna. So we pray to Krishna to give us the strength, the intelligence, the devotion, so that every day we are determined to hear and read every single day consistently. Then we see that we are able to deepen our relationship with Krishna. Then automatically everything falls in place. So that's our prayer to Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Gaunita, and Panchatattva to bless us with that determination to hear and read about Krishna. So thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll meet next Monday. Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Thank you all.
Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank
Hare
you.
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Thanks for the
Krishna.
darshan of
Thank you.
Jagannath.
Thank you.